Hello everyone, welcome back to Man Manga Boy has a manga reading log. We've got my co-host here, Ebony, with us as always. I feel like these days more so out of late than usual. She's a cutie patootie, but she's got business to attend to actually, so she's gonna leave a little early. Anyways, let's talk about our manga that we read this week. I was on vacation for a lot of these titles, so let's talk about these ones, okay? Let's start all the way over here. So we've got Yakuza Reincarnation, Volume 4. Yakuza Reincarnation, a series I was really looking forward to coming out, and Volume 3 said it was okay. But Volume 4 was really good. I'm going to sneeze. Darn cat. Making me sneeze with all of her shedding lately. She's getting her spring coat, I guess. Anyways, so we are here. We've got mermaid peddlers. We got this guy. He's got this weird two-faced face. We got this whale. That was really cool because I watched Pinocchio by Guillermo del Toro somewhat recently, like within the past month. So that was exciting. A lot of fun. The princess kind of tells us more about her skill tree. Well, not really, I guess. We learn a little bit more about skill trees, though. We find out there's these weird little crest things. And the crest things happen if you're like really good, I guess, and you feel and your bloodline is like well developed, your skill tree, whatever it's called. We also get to the end of this trail here to help with these dwarves. That was exciting as well. Can't wait to see what happens more so with this series, but I think that this tattoo in the back is actually a skill tree or part of the skill tree as well. I think it's part of the crest, so we'll see what it is. This series is a joy to read again. Last volume, like I said, a little slower, but still exciting towards the end. But this one, the whole way through, I thought was really a lot of fun. We also have Sakamoto Days, another series where I've just been loving it, raving, reviewing it. And I said that you guys should probably read these series. And you guys are like, yeah, maybe you'll get around to it. But I think it's starting to get more and more popular. I think you guys are finally starting to get around to this series. It is a ton of fun. We get to learn more about the Order, as well as these weird assassins that are around. We also have a fun little casino royale with betting. They make one of the main characters here. He can read the minds of people, but he doesn't know how to gamble, so he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, how do you play blackjack? Meanwhile, Wu-Tang is like going crazy with all these things, and I thought that was super funny to see that. However, Sakamoto moves so fast that he can swap cards out. Wu-Tang's like, listen, I don't know what you're doing, but cut it out, otherwise you're kicked out. So I thought that was wicked funny. But yeah, we all thought Chin was going to end up winning it because he could read minds, but actually it turns out not to be very useful. Chin also has to take out this guy because they have a huge hit against them, and these main hitmen are all after them. Shin can't really read his mind because all he's thinking about is killing people, so they're escaped convicts that get released from this high penitentiary jail, which is an exciting arc that we're leading into. Mission Yazakura Family, Volume 2. This is actually a lot better than the first volume was, so I do appreciate that. Thanks for making it better for me, guys. You heard my feedback and you decided to make it a little bit better, so that was nice. We get some comedy and learning how to be half asleep and still be able to function, so that was kind of funny, just autonomously. We also get a fun little bit of a video game hacking mission. We find out the main character is not really good at video games, but he's really good at breaking them. So that was exciting and funny too. We also have the main sister-loving brother taking over the classroom. That was pretty funny with some action as well. And lastly, we get a few little, what's the word for it? Assassins. This girl who ends up trying to kill, she's like a black widow. She kills everything she loves. And then this guy with the bird thing over here is kind of where we leave off. Kind of on a cliffhanger there. He's like a toy worker, toy owner. He owns like factory toys, and then he uses all that money, I guess, to hunt down her because he wants to have her. He wants her to have his kids, so that way he can have access to that bloodline, since she is able to guaranteed make superhuman children, I suppose. So it was a pretty funny read with a lot of action involved into it, as you can kind of see as I flip through these pages. So I definitely enjoyed that a lot more than where it was headed beforehand. It seems like it's starting to get a little bit more focused after they finished up with the gardener. So I was happy that they got all that out of the way after finally kind of setting everything up. Red Hood, on the other hand, from Volume 1, this is an amazing series. Can't believe it was canceled. What the heck happened there? Red Hood is about killing werewolves, as you could probably guess, and of course the grandma is a werewolf. Wow, shocker, who would have thought? Anyways, werewolves here are not like wolves. They're like, that's a werewolf, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird stuff like that. We also have this girl here who's cursed by a wolf and is like a little girl. There's witches in this world as well, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend checking it out. There's a lot of killing, people die in it. It's kind of like a cross between Promised Neverland and, I don't know, Hunter x Hunter, I guess. So definitely worth checking out. It's I can't believe it was canceled. I think it's only a 2 or 3 volume long series, so it's going to be quick and easy for people to read through. The next arc shows our main character kind of going through the school, kind of boot camp here, so that way she can learn how to, or he can learn how to take down werewolves. So it's going to be exciting to see how that works out. Apparently it's really rough and tough. We have our annual read, The Overly Powered Hero, but is overly cautious, or the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Constant comedy. Rossetti brings our main character over to Midas, the goddess of archery, so that way he can learn how to take down the Lord of the Skies, the Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub himself, but he's not really called Beelzebub, he's called Beelbub. And so he goes there. It turns out that she is super horny all the time and is just trying to get laid by the hero, but if the hero has sex with her, then he can no longer be the hero. That being said, Ristate goes over there to figure it out, and Cautious Hero is onto her tricks. He does not care for her nonsense, and he just shoots her down with his bow, and she's like, no, it's not enough. And so she ends up being totally pinned to the tree by him, and he just leaves her to die. He goes back to the regular world to take down Biel, but of course, the main human that they were working with is already gone, trying to kill Biel on her own. And we also get this crazy summon where this guy takes out this whole town and his loved ones to make this thing called Thanatos come appear from multiple dimensions and worlds, and he can even go into the god world. So it is pretty exciting and creepy. If you guys have not watched this series, definitely check it out. The anime has been out for a few years at this point now. I think it came out during the pandemic. Super funny, a lot of action. Really a good isekai. Reminds me of Konosuba, pretty much exactly. Classroom of the Elite. This series I'm liking a little bit more, but still I'm not understanding the huge amount of hype around it. I think it is just because it's the manga format. It's not quite as good. They go on a boat trip. What else? We get the courtroom kind of finished up with by making them think that these idiots were filmed. They just put up fake cameras and it was that easy. And I'm like, seriously? We also get on this boat, and the boat, they end up having to go on this special training camp. And this guy just wasting the points of like class B or C, something like that. And it seems kind of boring. Is it more interesting because we get to learn more about these characters, but again, not super interesting. It just seems okay. I don't really plan on dropping it at any point because it seems like it's inoffensive, but at the same time, I'm not really sure what all the hype was about over it. It just seems good. It doesn't seem great or anything like that. It doesn't seem bad. It just seems okay. Nothing to write home about. Weakest Contestant of All Space and Time, on the other hand, Volume 2, is something to write home about. You guys ever want to see this guy just kill things with sushi, with tofu? You got it right here. I cannot wait for this to be animated because he goes on a crazy killing spree with tofu, and it just goes everywhere, and I love it. And I cannot wait to see this clip be animated because it is so funny. As long as he exists, he will always kill people with tofu, apparently. And I was dying laughing. Oh my god. But anyways, the main character and his band of weak people, this caterpillar that disputes this mysterious liquid, this vacuum cleaner, this slime, and this tofu brat, and him all have to go around and try to survive on this random planet against these strange monsters and races trying to kill them, so that way they can survive the threat here. It's a lot of fun, very, very silly and wacky. This poor kid, he just cannot be seen without his tofu, his plate, or his hat. So that had me dying laughing as well to see him without it. Cannot wait for this anime to come out. I don't know if there is one coming out, but this is a three-wheeler car that almost flips, or two-wheel car that almost flips over every time it makes a turn because it's got too many people in it. And I think that's also wicked funny. So just the crazy things that these people think of to make as enemies for these people, for them to fight, blows my mind every time. Speaking of blowing my mind every time, Record of Ragnarok Volume 4. This is a lot of fighting here with these tournaments, but why not? So we learn more about Kojiro, how he is the eternal loser because he always forfeits, but he can't forfeit this fight against Poseidon. Hopefully the humans can get a win, but again, we do not have a end here yet. Kojiro gets dual swords, which is kind of surprising because he usually likes his really long sword like Sephiroth, but that's okay. Poseidon also apparently killing his brother because there was 13 gods of Olympus he killed once, and now there's only 12. And yeah, so this is just a ton of violence and fighting with some Greek mythology mixed in as well as Japanese lore. So if you like those things, check it out. I do like those things, so I did check it out, and I had a blast reading it, but that's really all there is to say on it. Bow free, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max up my defense to Volume 5. This series was pretty good, actually, Volume 5. I always feel like that it's not, the series is going to die soon, because it's like, how much crazy could it possibly get? Well, you know, Maple unlocks this new form, and this new form turns her into a demon boss, so that was pretty silly. You can see it right here. However, she can only use this form once a day, and once she does it, she says it's really hard to control, and she would really like to just be in that form all the time. They call it atrocity. But she says it's hard to kind of travel with. So that was hilarious. We also find out that Maple is making waves, and other people are trying to min-max. Oh, and then Maple gets this crazy machine gun form where she turns into the machine god. At the cost of all of her armor, but her armor, every time it breaks, it comes back stronger, so it's just like a never-ending loop for her to get stronger armor, so that was also really funny. But yeah, these two are maxing their strength. They're putting stats into nothing else. So they train with Maple a little bit, so that way they can kind of learn how to function with this max build, this min-max build. But other people are also trying to go through min-max build as well, and then kind of give up because they are finding it's not quite as viable as Maple made it seem. So yeah, the guild tournament is still going on, and they are trying to get more members for the guild, and these two are two of them. So that's pretty funny of them. Witch Hat Atelier or Atelier, this continues the celebration. I'm going to call it a tournament as well, even though it's not, of the witches to give their kind of is right. They're trying to give these things to the king, so that way he can make it so that they're really rich and popular, these spells. But they ran across Casca. I think that was his name, right? Casca. Custis, sorry. Custis. And Custis is now a brimmed hat. And he finds out that Danda, I think that was his name, has a seal on his tattoo, who is Custis's adopted dad. Turns out he's dead. So that's sad. Also, turned out the brimmed witches pull a little nasty spell on this guard who catches them, and his husband was waiting for him to come back, and his husband finds him and doesn't know who he is, and they say we have to send him to Exile Island where he has to live with other misfit people who got their, or misfit criminals who got their memories erased of all magic. And then her husband started crying and saying, "What the heck is wrong with you? Don't you know how to do the memory back?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can bring his memory back, but it's illegal." And I'm like, oh my god, these fucking idiot witches. They are forbidden from using healing magic, so they can't use healing magic on him, no exceptions. And I'm like, oh my god, he did nothing wrong. And then they're like, we're gonna go kill those witches because they took away his memory. I'm like, just give him his memory back with your stupid healing. Oh my god. He's not even a criminal. And like the king's right there, and he's the last user of healing magic. So, but no, they said, nope, can't do it. Because that would be against their morality. And I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You stupid idiots. Oh, so Custis and them are all trying, Coco and all of them are trying to get his dad back together by going to the king. Meanwhile, the other guys are going out for blood. it's who is the good guy anymore? I don't even know. Oh, Witch Hat is so good. If you're not reading Witch Hat out of all these titles, read Witch Hat and watch Overpowered Hero because good. Yora, the Pearl Harbor Descent record. This seemed okay. Kind of flushes out the world of Nier Automata or Nier Automata, however you say it. Tells you a little bit about a past mission that went wrong. This series isn't really making any point as to why you need to read this at this point, but it exists if you haven't read it. But you like the game, you could check it out and you wanted to learn more about this world, but that is pretty much it. I wouldn't say anything too exciting has happened quite so far yet, but we are still, I guess, in volume 1. So that is what I read this week. Did I totally bash your favorite series? Let me know down below. I appreciate that so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this series. And I didn't bash your series, and then I instead said it was really good because that would be really nice of you. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.